hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
As always, whatever it is that you are choosing to talk about in a particular moment or given time is always divine and perfect. As it is that we are wanting to talk to you today about the energy of speaking your truth. And of course, right before the call, it is that the vessel in which we are talking through is having a difficult time expressing and sharing some things. And this is something that is very, very common in the human experience. And so we want to address this. And we recognize and notice that this often happens in the feminine energy, as those are many of you tend to be a people pleaser. But when you are a people pleaser and you choose to move forward with something in order to allow another to have space or time or not to bother them, even though it is something in which you are needing, what happens then is you become resentful and the energy gets pushed down. And when that happens, the throat chakra begins to close. And so throughout your lifetime, when you were wanting to say something about something and you made the conscious decision not to, or to put it aside, it's like a clock that slowly begins to turn and shut itself off as it's moving in a counterclockwise position. And so the closing of the throat can happen in so many different ways. One is what we are speaking of when one is not speaking their truth or being authentic about how they are feeling. And another one is that often one wants to or thinks that they are speaking their truth, but they are not even aware of what their truth is or how they are really feeling. And part of this happens because when you are born and you come here to Earth, it is in order to navigate this human experience that you have chosen to sign up for and to enjoy and to feel and to understand and to know. You sever, in a sense, like cutting a cord of energy that links all of your chakras, and you are aware of 7 of them, but there are infinite ones and many, many more, to the higher aspect of who you are. And when that occurs and that gets shut down, you're not having complete and full communication with the highest aspect of your own vibration. And you drop into a matrix of energy or programming that has been decided upon by the collective as to what is true. And you believe that to be true because that is all that you have known. And sometimes you get so caught in what the programming of what is true to be or how you should behave or what belief system you have learned or what you have integrated into your belief and understanding from your birth parents or those who raised you or whatever it may be, that there is a forgetting around questioning things and looking really at how you're even reacting to a certain situation. And sometimes we notice, again, just like in the people pleasing, it is very common for something to happen and one to want to rise above it, to be a good sport, to say, oh, don't worry about it, or it's okay, or it's not a big deal, or there's bigger things to worry about. And in doing that, that might appear on the surface or from another's perspective that one is highly evolved or that they are holding a vibration, that they're not affected by perhaps some things that may seem more minor. And that is ultimately the goal, to be in a space in which you are able to hold enough vibration that when something a bit more petty or maybe materialistic or something that happens, or you lose something or you break something or you're out of money or something like this that you may not want to engage in feeling deeply upset about, because you recognize in the larger perspective that how irrelevant it is, that you will may bypass that and it's not a big deal. But if you are not really aware that that's a program that you learned and able to honor whatever is occurring in any given moment, you are unconsciously closing down your throat chakra because you're not really speaking your authentic truth. And speaking your authentic truth can be dangerous because it can upset people. They can be hurt by it. They can be offended. They can be defensive. You can chance at losing a friendship or a relationship. And so sometimes it's easier to just to say, oh, chuck it up for what it is and put it aside. But it is that when you start to really drop into the mastery of who you are, you start to recognize that everything, and you already know this, but you start to fully embody it, that you are experiencing comes, of course, from your thoughts, from your words, from your actions. And that when you say something that's not fully in alignment in here with the vibration of what is true for you, you are perpetuating and beginning to create more scenarios to present themselves that are similar until you get that message, until you are able to align with your authentic truth and speak whatever that is. It will continue to present itself. And of course, it will begin as something small, and the more you ignore it, it begins to grow and grow until it becomes an alarm system going off in some way that is what many call the dark night of the soul, or an opportunity to choose to either break through that, to align with what is in alignment with your strength, your truth, your authenticity, or it will turn in a direction of a disease. It will sometimes even create death, in which you have to leave the body because you were not willing to work through what needed to happen. Sometimes it will occur in that you will get stifled in some way. And so it's not, and we want to go back to what we were saying about leaving the body. It's not that every time another person dies that they do so because they were unable to work through a lesson. Most of the time it is that they are ready to move on. But sometimes it is that the only way that they can clear something is to release the physical, but that is not always the case. So we're just wanting to clarify that. So today it is that Lady Portia came forward, and Lady Portia's energy is in alignment, as you know, with Saint Germain in the transmutation of energy, but wanting to clear your throat chakra because it is essential that it is open, that it is spinning, that it is gushing with energy and vitality, that it is singing and it is humming, that it has a vibration, a sound, a voice, authenticity, and all of this. Because when you become the master of your voice in every capacity that it has, that it enables you to create in, then you are experiencing in your reality way more of that, which is more in alignment with what you are choosing or wanting to experience. And so the voice has many components. And it is that when you came in, you had severed that connection to the full access of highest self. You forgot about the ability for the voice to command. And that you can command with the voice through intent almost anything into reality with enough faith, understanding, and belief. But this idea of command got lost along the way, in which it was looked at as something silly or authoritative or ego based. But when you use commanding, not from a place of ego, but just simply aligning with the vibration of truth, you can actually create instantaneous, miraculous healing or change or connection or abundance or anything at all. You see, the power of the word is so, so, so important. And yet it has been minimized, it has been looked down upon, it has been put aside, and you have used it overall, generally, collectively, fairly recklessly. For the word is meant to be sacred. And when you begin to honor each word and to hold it in a sacred way, as if it is this precious gem, you start to string these gems together to create a masterpiece. And that masterpiece becomes your life. And so it is that the word, when honored in the sacredness and not just said to be said, but because it has value and purpose, or is creating or commanding or conveying or communicating, is a magnificent and beautiful thing. It can be used in lyrics and in songs to bring mood of change, of sadness and joy. It can be used in poetry to evoke emotion. It can be used in anger to express and let go of energies that are stored. It can be used in a way that brings humor and laughter to others to lighten their day. For the word is one of the most powerful tools that you have, and it should be looked at and cherished, each and every one of them. And you see, it is that what happened is that somehow it was put aside as just something that you do, that you aren't aware of, that you become unconscious of. And so you've become unconscious creators of your experience, commanding and demanding things without an awareness that it is so. And so, what we are asking of you today from the angelic realm is to pay more attention to the word, to look at it with reverence, to see it as sacred, and to speak your truth, whatever that may be, which may require you questioning and asking yourself things to start to understand really what your truth is. And as you begin to do that, you may string these words together to create this masterpiece of whatever it may be. And so one of the things in the commanding is thou shalt be healed, is one of the great masters of Jeshua, or Jesus would say, when he looked at another, it just was, for he did not see them as ill. He did not see them with leprosy in some cases. He saw them whole. And when he spoke of them, it was in the wholeness. And so the vibration of wholeness in the sacredness of words is essential, that you are creating from a place of wholeness, but not from a place of lack, not from a place of deprivation, not from a place of helplessness, not from a place of the victim or the martyr, a role that one easily can fall into without recognition that one is doing it in a very unconscious way, almost hoping that someone won't even do something for you. Then you get to play the role of the victim until you become aware that you are. You see, they didn't do that. And then you can feel sorry for yourself. This is also an effect of not speaking your truth, of not asking for what you need, of not telling your truth, of not speaking of what you believe to be so, because another may not agree with you, or that may change your reputation, or they may not like you, or love you, or respect you, because you perhaps see things from a different perspective, and so you choose silence. And so it is that we ask you to pay attention to your word, because this seal that was placed on all of your throat chakras at the time of birth, it is being peeled off. And that's what's happening collectively around the planet. These seals are being broken all over. From your third eye, as you're able to see beyond the veil, from your throat as you're speaking more of your truth, from your heart as you're aligning more with joy, from your solar plexus as you're stepping into your power, and your sacral chakra as your creativity is expanding, and your root as you're grounding into the earth and honoring the body for the beautiful vessel that it is in a new and sacred way. And so you are bringing a sense of sacredness to everything, to each center that dwells within, recognizing that everything is a mirror, everything is a reflection of your internal world that is being reflected in the experience you are having now. And so today, what we are wanting to do is to go in and to support you in removing the seal around your throat. In a sense, we've discussed this before. It's like a plug. You might even think of it like a mucus plug that got caught there and has been sitting there and accumulating gook every time you didn't speak your truth, every time you gossiped about another, every time you criticized another or yourself, anytime you were in the vibration of judgment, anytime you used harsh words that were not utilized necessarily to express your truth, but to hurt another or to hurt yourself. Any of these energies, anytime that you lied about something big or small, your throat chakra became more closed and the plug became heavier and it got more stopped up. And so we're going to work today, as Lady Portia is here and would like to come in and open up that plug and allow the flowing of energy to occur. And we'll do this for all of you on an energetic level, wherever it is at this time in the now space, wherever you are in the world on earth. But before that, there is an asking of you to play a game. And the game is that for today, in the next 3 days, whenever possible, and if you cannot speak it out loud because you're with others and they would not understand, we understand that. But whatever you say, not doesn't have to be every word. When you are finished, whatever it is, we're wanting you to say at the end, and so it is. And we know we've shared this with you before, and that it might seem simple, but it is incredibly powerful because it brings conscious awareness, remembering, and understanding to whatever it is that you are saying, that when you are saying it and you are saying it, that it has to be true. Because you have lost the sacredness of the word in that you forget that what you are saying is true because you are making it true, because you are stating that it is, and then it becomes true because that is how you are creating your experience and your reality. And so when you are saying something like, I don't have any money, and so it is, that is true. And when you are saying, I am exhausted and can't get up off the sofa, that is true. Because when you say, and so it is, and perhaps that is what is in that moment, that you are exhausted and you can't get up off the sofa, and so it is, then own that that's what it is, embrace that that what is what it is, be in that, actually sleep, feel what you need to do to rejuvenate yourself, but don't go into a, well, I'm laying here, but I shouldn't be laying here, and I need to get up, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, because then you're not honoring what is true in either direction. And so whatever it is that you are saying, we want you to say afterwards, and so it is. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. And we want you to notice what happens. And when you have a thought, do the same. Maybe the thought is, I don't feel good. And so it is. don't feel good. But perhaps you could intend the thought to be something other than that, that you can find truth, not that you mask it in saying that you are feeling vital and healthy, if that's not what you're feeling. But perhaps there's a part of you that is feeling healthy. Maybe your heart is healthy today, it's pumping and it's working. And so I have a healthy heart today, and so it is. And I have healthy eyes that can see today, and so it is. And I have healthy ears that can hear today, and so it is. And I have healthy legs that can walk today, and so it is. And so you start to vibrate with the parts of self that are in alignment with health, even though perhaps something else may not be. Let's say the stomach is, you just leave that out rather than saying, I have a stomach ache, and so it is. You can say that and own that. But what about all the other parts that are feeling good? And so reframing your words is very, very essential. Saying, and so it is important. Releasing and letting go of gossiping and talking ill of others is important. All of these things. And the other one, before we clear the throat, what we want to mention is the listening. It is that we witness from our perspective that the mind is so active that many of you aren't actually ever really listening to what others are saying. You're just getting ready for what you're going to say next, what you're thinking about. And the gift of the presence of listening is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to another, to fully be there, be present, to listen, to open your space, and to really hear what they're saying. And you might recognize that what they're saying is something other than what you thought they were saying, because you had a preconceived idea of what they were saying and how you were going to defend what they were saying, that you weren't really listening to what was occurring. So your homework, in a sense, over the holidays is to listen more than you've listened before, to be the one perhaps who just sits back a little bit and listens, pays attention, hears what's going on, and then responds, but from a place that is in alignment with your truth. To be in a place of questioning, question things a little bit more. What is narrative is being fed to you? What others are saying is true. Look at it and ask yourself, but is it true? And how do I know that that is true? Where is that coming from? Is that a programming? Is that an old belief system? Is that how we've just always done things? Does that mean we always have to do it that way? Question things a little bit more, even the simple things that you're doing in life that perhaps you've always done. Well, why do I do that? Is it because it's expected of me? Because I have to? Because it brings me joy? Why are you doing it? What is it about? Where is it leading? Where are you going? Look at that. And then play the game of, and so it is. And bringing your awareness to those three aspects of things will support you in containing, or maintaining is rather the word, the clearing of the throat center that is going to occur now. And so with that, we're going to be inviting Lady Portia. We're wanting you all to sit nicely wherever it is that you are. Perhaps your feet are on the ground, so you are feeling grounded into the earth, or perhaps you are laying down. And as you are doing this, we're wanting you to feel cords of green energy, beautiful emerald light, moving down into the earth as you are anchored into the beauty of the vessel of not only the magnificent body that is housing your spirit for this lifetime, but the earth that is housing you as a whole. And as you are doing that, Lady Portia is coming in. As she comes in, she is magnificent and beautiful. Saint Germain is standing beside her as they both are wearing the Maltese cross and a violet robe around them. And as she stands here with her glistening and beautiful eyes, she carries the symbol of justice. For she carries the energy of justice and opportunity. Justice in that truth be known. And that truth be known as to what is true begins with you speaking your own truth. As she wanting to come in and open up the throat so that truth may be spoken. And as she does this, she also comes with the energy of opportunity, the energy and understanding of opportunity that you are here to create, to bring forward into your experience, whatever you are wanting. And the essential understanding of the throat and the word and alignment with that to be true is one that you now begin to fully embody, embrace, and understand. And as she is here, she is asking you now, coming in, the beautiful lady Portia. She is a little bit gentler than I am in many ways. And although perhaps I cannot fully embody her to channel her directly, well, there will be a translation between her and myself as Archangel Raphael. She comes to you and she begins to bow, for she says she knows and understands what it's like to walk across the earth. And as she comes in, she is radiating a light that pours out of her hands. She is gentle and soft, and she begins to whisper and to blow something very soft and gentle on your throat. And as she begins to blow on your throat, she begins to soften this area. And as it softens, she begins to take her hand and place one upon the crown of your head and the other upon your throat. And as she does this, she begins to pour energy that is moving now into your entire head as it is being filled with light. And she is moving in and she is unplugging you from the matrix of a programming of things in which you're even unaware of. As she goes in like she would an old operator on a switchboard, she begins to pull these very tiny plugs in different pathways and neurotransmitters in the brain as she begins to unplug them so that you may begin to create more space to place within there new ideas, understanding, teachings, and words. She is disconnecting you from a third dimensional density based in separation and division. And as she does this in a very gentle way, it will only unplug you from any and only things that you are ready to be unplugged from. Begin to feel the light now within inside the cavity of your throat, within your voice box, within your jaw, and behind your neck, your cranium and your head, behind your eyes, and deep within the center of your pineal gland. And as you do this, feel that her energy is like moving light that is flowing through the entire head from the neck up. And as this is happening, she is very gently, just with your permission, anything you're ready to unplug from, any belief system, any ways of thinking, any teachings or understanding, any false knowings. She's just simply pulling it very gently out. You'll feel a loosening happening. And as this is happening, she's going to start to pull these threads of this matrix. This is an old programming, and she's starting to pull them out. And you can feel them like in your brain, like strings just being pulled through and out. And as that's doing that, she's pulling that out now behind you. It's coming out at the back of your throat. We call this sometimes the mouth of God. You might even want to place your hand there and pull it yourself as you might begin to feel it coming out. This is a dislodging of programming that is occurring here on a very deep and energetic level. There's not much you have to do other than a willingness to agree to this unplugging and the releasing of this energy. And as she does this, she hands it to Saint Germain as he places it in the violet flyer for transmutation, knowing that the deprogramming of these beliefs and understandings not only are for you, but the collective as a whole. And as that is coming now to a completion for today, for she may come back at other times and work with this deprogramming, imagine her and tune in now as if she is sitting directly in front of you. Feel the gentleness and the sweetness of her presence, and yet the strength and the power and the resilience of her being. And as she sits in front of you now, she's going to open up completely her voice and her throat chakra to you. And as she does this, divine sparkling light begins to emanate from her throat, moving toward yours. And as it moves there, you start to feel this energy coming into your throat center as she gently begins to massage and open it energetically from where she is. And as she does this, you feel a loosening happening. And when it feels loose enough, you may want to, on your own, take your hand to your throat. And with the motion of pulling, you may feel a plug there. A plug of all the times you did not say what you wanted to say, of all the times that you kept quiet when you had a voice to share, all the times you didn't sing because you thought your voice was not good, all the times that you judged and said negative things of others, all the times that you gossiped about them, all the times you criticized yourself or your body, all the times that you were angry but not from a place of authenticity. Feel that energy and take your hand and pull it. And as you pull it, you're going to feel a gushing of goop coming out. And it is floating down like lava coming out of your throat. And it is just dripping down and out now. And allow as much of it to just come out as you are willing, as it is just coming down. And as so, she's going to come over with her hand and wipe it clean from you, off your throat, and as it had dripped down toward your chest and some even in your abdomen, wiping it clean and up and out, as she's handing that now to Saint Germain to be put into the fire of transmutation of the violet flame. It is transmuted. And now that it is clear and the doorway is open, she's going to blow now into your throat chakra. And as she blows in, it is like a beautiful gust of wind, clearing away any last debris, opening it up wide, as it is wide and open for you to fully express yourself, to sing with joy, to tell the truth, to be in authenticity, and to create with the power of the word. And so it is. And with that now, she comes over to that open throat as she lifts a pitcher filled with divine blessed water of the holiest of holy sacred water of the creation of all that is. She pours that water now, and it is like a silvery color of liquid that sparkles. And as she pours it into your throat, it begins to coat and heal any wounds of the past, any words that were spoken to you that were harsh, anything that needs healing around the throat. As she begins to pour it there, softening it and healing it, she's filling it now with a new energy. and an opening. And she's not sealing it, but leaving it open for you now to have full and complete communication with her as she resides in the temple of the violet flame with her twin partner, Saint Germain. She says to you, I am here and available for any word that is not in alignment with one that is sacred. You may give it to me any time, as I will transmute it for you. I call upon you now to speak the words of truth and to create a new program based in love. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Thou shalt be made whole now. And so it is. From this day forward, you shall speak your authentic truth. And so it is. From this day forward, you should use the sacredness of your voice to convey beauty, joy, love, compassion, communication, information, understanding, connection. And so it is. And so it is. And with that, you may place your hand upon your throat, gently, gently, just rubbing it and radiating and sending love to it, knowing that it has been cleared and purified and prepared now to be a sacred vessel of truth. And so it is. Many blessings and good day.
And so it is.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Oh, a lot of light came in the window. Well, thank you everybody for joining today. Couple announcements for those who got on the call late. Next Sunday, we have our special program, 2-hour program for the holidays, Angel Activation Blessing. That's a paid event. I hope you'll join us. That would be wonderful, but we will not be having the free call. Thank you for all of your beautiful donations. And our wonderful Casey over here does incredible coaching. And if you guys haven't bought that package, you should do it because it is life-changing. He will get you on track to create the reality that you want. All right. So I love you guys. I will see you soon. Let me see if I can